Shadow Sizzle unleashes the Night Slash. We get the boost. We are now 3-stage boosted. But sometimes you've just got to let it go. The opponent has a move banked on Forretress, so I really need to save the final Protect Shield. Out comes Sableye, and my gosh, am I glad I saved that final Protect Shield. Opponent has super effective charge moves, here, there, and every bloody where. We send out Marowak. Marowak going to invest Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming foul play. The opponent going to try and give me that wham, bam, combo meal. But trainer, I'm on a diet. Welcome back to the channel. Your boy Jamie Finn is hella tired as I'm unfortunately working 12-hour day shifts at work. Content on the channel has been super inconsistent as I'm kind of working on other things at the moment. I've recently got back into fitness and that is taking a priority over me shoutcasting absolute nonsense over Pokemon battles. It wasn't all that long ago that I recently hit Veteran. Because we like to meme and dream on the channel, we always prioritise in showcasing entertainment and unique shadow teams, and today is no different. I'm not entirely sure what happened, to be honest. I went on a crazy 14-1 run, and just like that, we're sat in the mid-2900s. I was thinking I'm about to showcase a very unique core, and in particular, a very unique Pokemon. But of course, as I've been at work all day, I've just flicked through YouTube, and of course Zyonik beat me because he always beats me. I'm always the last to showcase everything, but let me tell you, once upon a time, one of the OGs, someone that you might have heard of, Zyonik, said Alolan Marowak was the GOAT, and finally I believe him. My god, is this thing absolutely lethal in this cup. It just so happens to form an almost perfect core with Shadow Zweilous. What you will notice this season is since Zweilous has been released, I've run it 3 times and all 3 of them teams have been unbelievable. I think Zweilous is just such a sleeper pick. Every time I run it, I just can't stop winning. Rounding out my line of 3 is going to be Sizzle because Zweilous is double weak to Fairy and I don't fancy Wigglytuff being my dad. With all that being said, without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, I am not off to the best start as Zweilous stares down a Fairy. Dedenne, honestly, can you just piss off back to the Open Great League? I say switch into Alolan Marowak and out comes the ever annoying bulky vulture Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz gonna fire off the foul play. Marowak shrugs off the damage, gonna reach a departing Shadow Bone, actually putting this Mandibuzz deep into the red health range. Mandibuzz is going to get a very nice air slash farm down, leaving with a charge move good to go. Things starting to look dire, but I've got a plan. We're going to tank the energy, pivot into Sizzle and look to start loading up an energy. Sizzle able to get a very nice running start. Dedenne reluctant to re-enter the arena. Out comes Murkrow. The opponent still with 2 shields to hide behind, but oh trainer, what you can't shield are quick moves. Trailblaze forces the protect shield and buffs up my attack. The opponent might have more HP than me. However, not for long. These boosted bullet punches delete Murkrow in the blink of an eye. Sizzle able to bullet punch farm down, leaving with the boosted Night Slash. The opponent still 1 shield to hide behind. Going to be investing it here. We have 2 further bullet punches and suddenly this looks winnable. Trainer, what are you doing? This is only a parabolic charge. That is the easiest no shield of my GBL career, and just like that, despite the god-awful alignment, I think we're about to win. The first body slam easily as half the opponent's remaining HP. The opponent also makes yet another mistake, not firing off another parabolic charge, buffing up the defense, and because of that, body slam is going to be all she wrote. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the next battle, we see Shadow Sizzle in the lead position. Fast move pressure, very much with the opponent. We should fully wall the moveset as everyone's on Night Slash and Trailblaze right. Wrong! That's an X-Scissor. Bloody hell, this is not going well. As I completely lost my lead and got no value, I'm going to make what looks to be a strange play. Sending out Sizzle and looking to load up an energy. I would have sent out Marowak, but I've got off all of 2 fire spins, and that proves to be a very, very good call. Trainer, are you serious? Who sends Frostlass into a loaded Sizzle? I heavily overfarm on the off chance the opponent just looking to sack Frostlass. They are not. We fire off back-to-back Night Slashes, forcing both Protect Shields, and the opponent is forced to dump energy. Avalanche, triple axle, whatever they throw is going to knock me out, but this just sets up a very nice farm down for Marowak. Marowak gets the farm down. Clearly they haven't got an answer for Marowak. They don't want the smoke, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, oh my god, the tough leads are unrelenting. We say switch into Alolan Marowak, and out comes Nidoqueen. This is by no means the worst matchup. Yes, we're taking super effective from the mud slaps, but we heavily outpace the Bone Club, and the opponent isn't even going to commit to anything other than a Poison Fang. Marowak going to shrug off the damage. In Marowak, I believe, Even at -1, we survive yet another Mud Slap, reaching Bone Club number 2 and force both Protect Shields here in the mid-game matchup. I send back out Zweilous. The opponent doesn't throw any energy. I'm going to take the initiative, fire off the Body Slam. Body Slam will move them from the field of play, and I am spamming the switch. We pivot out into Scizor, baiting out Golurk, and that is going to be GG's, and thanks for playing, trainer. Night Slash removes Golurk from the field of play. Wigglytuff re-enters the arena. The opponent doesn't want the smoke. They can take their toxic nonsense elsewhere as I take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Grimer in the lead position. Interestingly opting for Poison Jab. An argument could be made that I should pivot out. I'm actually just going to stay in, recognising I can go straight Body Slam and win this in the one shield scenarios. We do have that pace and advantage, only taking 9 turns to each of these Body Slams. The first one, forced to Protect Shield. The opponent, like an absolute savage, catch a Body Slam onto Drifblim. Oof, that hurts. However, undeterred, we send out Scizor, recognise the opponent's going to be spamming that debuff and trap them into the CMP tile. They do not win. Night Slash forces the opponent's final protection. Unless they've got Mystical Fire, Icy Wind will be survivable. We are going to get Astonish farm down, but not before if we get yet more valuable Bullet Punch damage. As I was able to save Zweilous, we're able to send it back out, force them to throw. As we Dragon Breath farm them down before they Astonish farm me down, it's now one shield of Marowak versus the world. The opponent pivots out into Runerigus. They get a 1-turn switch, meaning we're able to win the charge attack priority, but is Shadow Bone enough to knock out? There's another one-hit KO. Marowak about to 1v3 Grimer, re-enters the arena, but trainer, this is going to be the easiest one shield. Fire Spin farm down of my life. Mud Bomb bounce off the Protect Shield. We Fire Spin farm down, leaving with the Shadow Bone, and that is going to be all she wrote of Marowak, sweeping the entire team. Heading into the next battle. This one happens to be against Man of the Hour, aka Will. Shout out Will, check him out on Twitch. He's a very entertaining battler. He actually clapped my cheeks last week in the Open Great League. He farms up a boatload of energy. It looks to call the bait, but this definitely works for me. He's going to dump his energy, and all this allows a very nice Bullet Punch running start for Scizor. Scizor able to Bullet Punch farm down. Looks like Will not entirely sure what to do here. And he sends out Guzzlord, and I'm thinking, huh? Guzzlord, of course, running Dragon Tail this season. Dragon Tail has been reworked, geared more towards energy generation. It was always resisted, but now literally does no fast move pressure. I fire off the Trailblaze, guaranteeing to boost my attack. And at this point, I'm going all in on Scizor, because why bloody not? We're a degenerate sometimes. We shoot up the next Brutal Swing. He pivots out into his own Scizor. I'm not entirely sure why I didn't sneak there. I should have snuck. I did not, but it doesn't really matter. It's just going to be a tap, 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 fast move, beat down everything. We Fire Spin farm down Scizor, Fire Spin farm down Guzzlord, and I'm able to take that game. And despite my intro probably being about 2 minutes long, as always, I yap for far too long. That is a very quick 5-0. Heading into the next battle. This time we see Mandibuzz in the lead position. So what I'm going to say is, moral of the story is, we pretty much lost every lead except the Nidoqueen, which was kind of neutral. In set number 2, we're getting better leads. I see so many people like, oh, algorithm, switch it up. I am stubborn as fuck. I stick it out and you can see it eventually balances itself out. Shadow's Wireless able to win this in the 0 shield scenario, and that is the exact scenario that I look to play. The opponent actually banks a charge move, make a very nice catch of the Body Slam, or so you would think onto Nidoqueen, but that chip damage is very, very valuable, meaning they're going to be in Night Slash range before the Stone Edge is reached. The opponent set over the Poison Fang. People shield everything on Scizor. Trust me, you don't need to shield a bloody resisted Fang. Scizor 1 Bullet Punch and the Night Slash. Night Slash removes Nidoqueen from the field of play. It's their own Scizor in the back, and we all know how this one's going to end with yet another very quick tap, 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 fast move beat down all the way to the finish. I've still got 2 shields. We can shield 1 Night Slash, shield 1 Foul Play, and yet again Marowak gonna fast move beat down everything. Jamie Finn is the best degenerate in the world as I take that game. In the next battle, we see some Shadow on Shadow crime as Shadow's Wireless stares down Nidoqueen. We can take a Poison Fang. Poison Fang, not the best move. 40 energy for 45 damage. We shrug that damage off. We're only reaching 1 move, so of course you force on the Dark Pulse, guarantee the knockout or the first protection of the game. As it was Shadow and Shadow crime in the opening matchup, the opponent isn't going to be able to reach a Stone Edge. This again, only a Poison Fang, which I will be tanking. However, the debuff on my defense means that next Mud Slap did crazy damage. We bank the Trailblaze, make the pivot into Marowak, and out comes Murkrow. Yes, they're a Dark type. Yes, we're a Ghost type. But this fast move pressure is unrelenting. The opponent saves Murkrow, make the pivot into Azumarill, catching the Shadow Bone, but Shadow Bone not only lands, also debuffs their defense, and Marowak absolutely popping off. Marowak already at the next Shadow Bone. Shadow Bone won't be lethal, but gets them deep into the red health range. We then give the opponent that wham, bam combo play. Fire off the Night Slash. Night Slash removes Azumarill from the field of play. Murkrow able to farm me down, but we're healthier than they are. So we Fire Spin farm them down before they peck farm me down, and I take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Big Daddy Golurk in the lead position. The opponent pivots out into Charger Bug. Here, I'm going to bank a boatload of energy. This isn't actually a bait, it's an intentional body slam, because I want to chip, putting them in a range where I can fully Fire Spin farm down, only have to tank one charge move, and we should actually catch an X-Scissor here. Why would you discharge? I guess the opponent perhaps was covering for a catch, so nice play on their part if that's what they're actually doing. Golurk re-enters the arena, and here I farm to the Shadow Bone, and then look to throw the Bone Club. The thought process was, if the opponent looks for the full Mud Slap farm down, potentially would reach back-to-back Bone Clubs. The opponent actually dumped their energy, and that works for me. The opponent then pivots out into Forretress. We've still got 2 shields apiece, but again, just guarantee forcing that shield or big damage. The first Dark Pulse able to land. Again, Body Slam wouldn't cut it, so we are going to full send that Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse able to force the first Protect Shield of the game, and here comes Scizor. Scizor still with 2 shields to hide behind, so I guess it's a good idea to start investing, and we're going to shield the Rock Tomb. Farm up, throw the Night Slash. The opponent find himself between a rock and a hard place. Where do they burn that final Protect Shield? Looks like they're saving it for Golurk, but they're far too low. Even at -1, Scizor able to bullet punch farm down, and I will be emerging victorious. Heading into the next battle, we see Clodsire in the lead position. My move timing with 1-turn moves is normally horrendous, but thankfully it's 13 Dragon Breath to the Dark Pulse, so I can spam it as soon as I get it, and that happens to be good timing. The opponent throws on 7, so I'm guessing it's a Stone Edge. There is said Stone Edge. I remember this battle. When Glizzapod come in, I was thinking, what should I go into? I don't go into anything, and I concede a massive farm down like an absolute potato. As this is the Fury Cutter variant, I think I should have just went instantly to Marowak, because Marowak resists the fast move pressure, while hitting for neutral on 1 Aqua Jet is survivable. As I gave him a huge energy lead, I'm kind of forced to come into Scizor. Here the opponent gets greedy, end up playing to CMP, and potentially give me a way back into this game. We get the boost. We're not going to be able to bullet punch farm down before the next Aqua Jet's reached. So with that in mind, we're going to save our final protection of Marowak and hope the GOAT does GOAT things again. Whilst an Earthquake would do more than an Aqua Jet, we could just outpace Clodsire, so we'd never actually have to tank an Earthquake. Hence I shielded up the Aqua Jet. Out comes Murkrow, and I was so mad after this game. It is going to end in heartbreaking defeat, but a very, very winnable game. These are straight battles. You're going to see me play that one horrendously, but potentially winnable. So essentially, if you ran this team and saw that team, you could end up victorious. Unlike me, don't be a potato. In the next battle, we saw Feeble in the lead position. The opponent save switch into a shiny Fortress. I send out Marowak, go for the 1 shield, get a massive Fire Spin farm down, while Feeble isn't a particularly good matchup. We have got so much energy, 1 Fire Spin and the Bone Club, forcing our Protect Shield back. The opponent likely thought this mad lad Jamie Finn loves a nuke, potentially has got Fire Blast. Unfortunately, I don't. I think Bone Club's definitely the way to go. Good into stuff like Nidoqueen, which is very common in the meta. The debuff Marowak putting in so much work, almost knocking out 2 Pokemon. Here I send out Scizor, anticipating the blind play rough. Oh, that's savage. The opponent sends out their own Scizor. We're going to fire off the Night Slash. The opponent can pick their poison. Night Slash forced to Protect Shield, and this is GG's. All I've got to do is remember to shield and not get X's into the face. They probably don't have it, but it's better sometimes to be safe than sorry. We shield up the Night Slash bait, but that bait will not save my opponent's fate. Dark Pulse, a big fat 1-hit KO. We Dragon Breath farm down Feeble's remaining HP, and we're back to winning ways. In the next battle, we probably see one of the worst leads I can see. Oh man. Araquanid. Outbox everything. And to be honest, Marowak's probably my best answer that I did say switch into, but able to force a Protect Shield in the mid-game matchup off that Golurk. Here you're going to see me make what you might think is a strange play. However, if I don't shield up a potential Dynamic Punch, I'm just going to get debuffed into oblivion. I have no chance of winning this game. With credit shot the Dynamic Punch, this can only be a Shadow Punch. While things are looking dire, at least we've got a fighting chance here. I send out Scizor looking for the snipe. The opponent blind switch into Wigglytuff. Oh my god. Things have gone from bad to looking pretty good. We fire off the Trailblaze. Trailblaze removes them from the field of play. We're going to reach the Night Slash. Night Slash is boosted. And I really want to force the Protect Shield. We're able to do exactly that. Yes, this is a Bubble Beam, but I'm kind of obliged to shield. So what I'm thinking here is, let's bank this Night Slash. Look to pivot. The opponent has the same idea. Try and catch the Night Slash. We're able to Dragon Breath farm down, reaching the big fat Dark Pulse. And I can't quite believe it. But despite seeing an absolutely horrendous lead, this one is going to end in victory. Probably one of the best battles I've played in a very long time. And man, it felt good to get that dub. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the next battle, we see another Mandibuzz in the lead position. We've already talked about this matchup. Just play the Zero Shield. If the opponent catches, so be it. Just don't commit a Protect Shield on a bloody Aerial Ace. It has been reworked. It does slightly more damage now, but Mandibuzz is never going to be particularly threatening, regardless of what they throw. As I said in the intro, Shadow's Zweilous has been on so many of my well-performing teams this season, and you can see why. The reworked Dragon Breath still hits pretty hard with the Shadow bonus, and these body slams, despite not getting stabbed, now they do 55 damage, really add up, enabling us to win that Zero Shield matchup. The opponent sends out their Sizzle, I concede the farm down to keep the correct alignment, I send out Marowak, the opponent pivots into Nidoqueen, and this should be GG's. I've got 2 shields, I am going to shield 1 Poison Fang. Just give as much damage as I can. We're going to fish for the boost. They likely shield back, but the bullet punch damage is essentially going to mean the damage is already done. We miss out on the next one. We have bullet punched them into a range where they're only going to reach a Poison Fang, which of course Marowak is always tanking. A couple of taps, tap, 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 high sizzle, buy sizzle, and we're going to take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Forretress in the lead position. You should always stay in and check the quick move. If they're on Bug Bite, just shout Sizzle or go quickly. But if they're on Volt Switch, you can more than stay in. It's quite risky to throw on CMP here, but they're a debuffer. Like fuck are they going to take the extra? You know they're spamming that debuff as soon as they get it. You can see that Zweilous again, quite dominant in this matchup. We can tank a Rock Tomb and they never ever Volt Switch farm me down. Even at -1, that Dark Pulse puts them deep into the red health range. The opponent then bank a charge move, catch onto Mandibuzz. And to be honest, Zweilous is kind of one Mandibuzz answer. So we did chip with the body slam. It wasn't actually a catch. I saw it coming in and recognised I just need to get off some chip damage. I invest a Protect Shield, fearful of a Dark Pulse. What I have noticed is most are running Foul Play for quicker pacing, and Foul Play doesn't actually do too much. I fire off the Trailblaze, and you can see with that body slam chip damage, a Night Slash now will be able to knock him out. Night Slash, force the Protect Shield, we get the boost, but sometimes you just gotta let it go. Forretress has a move bank, so I need to save the shield for Marowak. Sizzle tanks the Foul Play, Bullet Punch farm down, and out comes Sableye. Marowak with a shield to hide behind, looking to close the show. Marowak enters the arena. The opponent got super effective charge moves here, there, and every bloody where. I'm going to shield up the Foul Play. I can smell it. That Big Mac and fries that I didn't order, but trainer, I'm on a diet. No combo play today. We catch the Rock Tomb, send out Marowak. Marowak fire spin farms down, leaving with the Shadow Bone. I'll be honest, I was pretty confident this would knock out. It does not. We're still going to be able to fire spin farm down and take that game. Heading into the next battle. We see Gliscopod in the lead position. I'm guessing the opponent's probably running Shadow Claw, hence they pivoted out. The opponent Safe Switch into a Bug Bite Forretress. I was going to try and bank a charge move, but you know what, them Bug Bites were doing too much damage. So essentially I got scared and did send out Marowak. Marowak able to fire spin farm down. When Gliscopod re-enters the arena, I am going straight Shadow Bone the first one, able to land. We've got all the energy in the world. We're all to the next Shadow Bone. The opponent has a decision to make. The opponent invests that Protect Shield, blocking up the next Shadow Bone. The opponent looks for the Shadow Claw, farm down. Marowak says no, reaches the Bone Club. And do you know what? I'm going to try and snipe. Sizzle, go quickly! Please tell me that next Bullet Punch knocks out. No, why would you X-Scissor? And it doesn't knock out. It's all going wrong. One Aqua Jet is survivable, but ouch, it did like 80% of my HP. But out comes Clodside Trainer. That is not the answer you are looking for. These poison things are double resisted. I fire off the Trailblaze, buffing up my attack. The opponent's forced to throw before we reach the Night Slash. Stone Edge removes me from the field of play. And despite not banking a charge move earlier, we've got enough residual energy to outpace to the Dark Pulse. And that is going to be all she wrote. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the next battle. We see Morpeko in the lead position. I'll be honest, I was playing at work again. Shh, don't tell my boss. I thought that was Dedenne. So I pivoted into Marowak. It's definitely a Morpeko, not a Dedenne. I was actually on the phone. I hear a lot of people say, well, I say a lot of people. My ex-girlfriend used to say, you bloody men can't multitask. And I absolutely agree with that. I know who said PvP was just tapping your phone. Apparently, I can't talk on the phone and tap another phone. while we're going off topic. We was able to get the defense drop with the Shadow Bone. The next Shadow Bone forced the Protect Shield. This Mad Lad running Hydro Pump, and that does remove me from the field of play. Even with the defense drop, a Body Slam isn't going to be lethal, so I send out Scizor. This is only an Ice Beam, but I'm worried I'm going to get Fast Move beat down, so I'm going to invest the Protect Shield. The opponent then not wishing to concede a farm down, send back out the Denny. I'm going to fire off the Trailblaze, guarantee the shield, and buffing up my attack. We're then going to pivot out. Look to make the catch onto Zweilous. Zweilous should be able to wall the energy, but trust me, Aura Will isn't going to look resisted, but we should still be able to Dragon Breath farm down afterwards. Zweilous looks for the Dragon Breath farm down, able to get it, and leave with a whole boatload of energy. Back out comes Azumarill. I attempt the Dragon Breath farm down, recognise I'm not going to be able to get it, but I've heavily overfarmed. Fire off the Body Slam. Body Slam removes Azumarill from the field of play. It's Drift Bloom in the back. Dark Pulse would be a one-hit KO. The opponent recognise they're going to lose the match, and we go on yet another perfect 5-0. GG's to all of my opponents, and can you believe it? I'm not entirely sure how or why we somehow climbed from the early 2700s to 2941 in just 3 sets. This team was hella fun. And that is just about going to wrap things up for today's shoutcast. You can tell from my voice, I think I'm definitely overtired, as this was here, there, and every bloody where in the commentary. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider leaving a like. If you're new, maybe even subscribe. If you'd like your battles featured on my channel, a link to my battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.